There is huge drama outside Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's residence as ED officials are questioning him in connection with the liquor gate probe. He's been questioned for the better part of the last couple of hours now. A little past 6 o'clock this evening, there was a team from the Enforcement Directorate that went to his residence and he's been questioned ever since. Remember, earlier this afternoon, the Chief Minister and his legal team had moved the Delhi High Court asking for interim protection from arrest or any kind of coercive action. A division bench of the Delhi High Court denied any kind of interim protection from arrest to the Chief Minister. Right now, he's being grilled, and we are given to understand by top ED sources, even as you see Aam Aadmi Party supporters and workers are indulging in slogan shouting and protests, squatting outside the Chief Minister's residence, even though the Delhi police is saying that Section 144 has been imposed outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. The Enforcement Directorate sources are indicating to CNN News 18 that the Chief Minister is being evasive in his responses and also that he is not cooperating with the Enforcement Directorate. This, of course, is classic signs of any investigating agency, in this instance, the Enforcement Directorate, laying the ground for potentially arresting the Delhi Chief Minister. Remember, this is in connection with the Liquorgate scandal, in which already his former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia is under arrest. Sanjay Singh, the Member of Parliament of the Aam Aadmi Party, he's already under arrest. A number of functionaries of the Aam Aadmi Party and other alleged middlemen are also under arrest for the last many years now in this case, and the net was slowly but surely closing in on the Chief Minister. These are live pictures of Aam Aadmi Party workers outside the Chief Minister's residence. Remember, the Chief Minister had skipped summons not once or twice, but as many as 9 times, including the latest one that was served to him this week. The first time he was issued summons in this case was back in November. So for the last four and a half months now, in fact, the Chief Minister has been evading the summons. The latest one, the 9th one, was today. Like I said, he moved the High Court expecting some form of interim relief, some form of interim protection, if you will, from arrest, but that was denied to him by a division bench of the Delhi High Court. There's also heavy security outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence right now. Like I said, top Aam Aadmi Party leaders and ministers have arrived there. The workers are chanting slogans and, trying to create a mahal, as they say, an environment, as they say, where they are making this out to be. And this is an allegation from the opposition, a political charge from the opposition for a number of months and years now, that the Modi government is targeting opposition leaders and opposition candidates at times in a vicious manner to try and shut down political opposition to the Modi government, and using these alleged corruption cases to shut down the political opposition. Let me go across first to my colleague Ananya, who's joining us from outside the Chief Minister's residence. Just describe the scene around you, Ananya, for our viewers. We can see rapid action force. We can also see at the other end protesters of the Aam Aadmi Party. What is going on both outside his house and inside the Chief Minister's residence?
Well, definitely, Zaka, it's a high-level drama night right here outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. The RAF, the paramilitary forces, and also, in fact, the Delhi police officials, along with the protesters of the Aam Aadmi Party here outside the Chief Minister's residence. Soon after, in fact, the Enforcement Directorate teams entered the Delhi Chief Minister's house. They wanted to question him in the Delhi excise policy case. Remember, very key question.
The Delhi High Court denied any kind of interim protection to him in this particular case. Not only this, he has faced 2 complaints from the Enforcement Directorate for being a public servant and keeping the orders of a law enforcement agency under Section 174. Not the Indian penal code, and had to secure a bail in that particular case as well. So very clearly and categorically, though the Aam Aadmi Party is defending Mr. Arvind Kejriwal in this particular case, the sources in the Aam Aadmi Party legal team have also confirmed this in the very, very clearly and categorically that they are making all attempts to seek the urgent hearing before the Supreme Court of India The petition has already been filed via e-filing, and in fact, any kind of urgent mentioning is being attempted so that they're contacting the registrars, mentioning of the Supreme Court. They're also trying to get urgent hearing. They're trying to push in their request to the Chief Justice of India for urgent listing. But whether or not that is allowed, only time can tell us, or the Chief Justice of India himself. So very clearly and categorically, we'll have to wait and watch for that. But it is definitely a high drama night at the Delhi Chief Minister.
All right, it clearly is a lot of drama. In fact, his supporters, they are protesting outside the Chief Minister's residence. That's happening on one end. At the other end, you can see the blue uniformed security personnel. They are the Rapid Action Force. There are also CRPF personnel. Delhi Police, of course, is there. We've been given to understand that the top honchos of the Delhi Police are all there outside the Chief Minister's residence to try and prevent any kind of untoward incident. But it looks like the grounds are being laid for an imminent arrest of the Delhi Chief Minister. Anshul is also joining us live now. Anshul, what is going on inside? Questioning has been going on for the better part of more than 2 hours now. It started a little past 7 o'clock this evening when an ED team reached the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. Tell us and tell our viewers, what is it that the ED is telling you as they're trying to make a case for why Kejriwal could potentially be arrested?
So yes, the case of Enforcement Directorate got even more stronger after the arrest of K. Kavita, and that is the reason why the Enforcement Directorate now wants to question Arvind Kejriwal with the newfound facts in this entire matter. Because remember, in the remand note that we had accessed out here at CNN News 18, that also had clearly narrated that how Arvind Kejriwal was practically the kingpin of this entire alleged liquor policy scam that happened out here in the national capital. And at this point in time, what sources from the investigating team are telling CNN News 18 is that the CM somewhere or the other is trying to be evasive of the questions that are being asked by the Delhi Chief Minister. This could eventually spell more trouble for the Delhi Chief Minister at this point in time as we speak. What action will the Enforcement Directorate will take, that is something that remains to be seen. But outside the residence, in fact in this entire area, VVPI area of civil lines, Section 144 has been imposed. People have been stopped from coming anywhere close to the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. A handful of supporters have reached over here. But if you could see the traffic situation outside, right outside the gates of the Delhi Chief Minister's residence, you can see that there is a heavy traffic stance. Police personnel and central forces that have been deployed over here are in numbers of hundreds who are already stopping people, already stopping vehicles from coming anywhere close to the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. Not only this, but drones are also being used over here to keep an eye out at each and every movement to make sure that the situation remains under control. What we can confirm as well, that senior police officials of the Delhi Police, including DCP of the North area, is inside the residence of Delhi Chief Minister at this point in time as we speak as well. So definitely the manner in which the arrangements are being made, we can expect a big action that could come forth in the next few minutes or probably in the next few hours. What we can also confirm to our viewers is that 4 to 5 mobile phones have been seized by the Enforcement Directorate. Along with that, 2 tablets have also been taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate already, which means that the Enforcement Directorate is collecting evidences from inside the residence of the Delhi Chief Minister. So definitely, it seems like that more trouble is mounting for the Delhi Chief Minister. We are still awaiting from the side an official confirmation from the side of Enforcement Directorate as to what action they could take. But the investigating officer of this entire liquor policy scam is inside the residence of the Delhi Chief Minister. He is questioning him as to what more information can he provide to the Enforcement Directorate regarding the alleged liquor scam that happened out here in the national capital, because the allegations against the Delhi Chief Minister is actually very serious, and especially after the arrest of K. Kavita and how people have now or the accused or the people who have turned witnesses in this entire matter have taken the name of Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal as to how he was in contact with K. Kavita as well, and how he had asked for an 100 crore rupee kickback to be given.
All right, Anshul, just give me a moment. Right now, we don't have confirmation of this, but there are unconfirmed reports that Kejriwal has been arrested. Remember, the ED sources were telling CNN News 18 that he was being non-cooperative, that he was being evasive when to their questions. That, of course, is a classic situation when an accused person is not cooperating with the investigation. That becomes grounds for arresting that individual concerned. So that information we had got about 20 minutes or so back. Now there are unconfirmed reports. Like I said, it is unconfirmed as of right now that Mr. Kejriwal has already been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. Remember, you can see now Delhi police teams going in. Some of them moving through the barricades. They are pushing back. They are pushing back the protesters. They are being taken out through those buses that had been parked outside the Chief Minister's residence. So many of the protesters are being removed from right outside the Chief Minister's residence. But huge drama going on right outside the Chief Minister's residence with the protesters there. And like I said, we are still awaiting confirmation from our reporters, definitive confirmation. Only after that, we're going to put it out on air. Right now, there are unconfirmed reports which seem to be suggesting that the Chief Minister is arrested. But here on CNN News 18, we are not confirming that. But the information that we had up until 10 minutes ago was that the Chief Minister was allegedly being evasive and non-cooperative in the questioning that's been going on from a little past 7 o'clock this evening. And therefore, that in instances in the past, and if you look at all classic legal cases in the past, that has been the reason why an accused person has been taken into custody, because he or she was allegedly non-cooperative and the answers that he or she was giving was being evasive. So that's what we have as of now. Let me try and stay with our reporters for now till we get confirmation of the arrest. But right now, like I said, what we do have is that Mr. Kejriwal is being questioned for the better part of the last 2 hours and about 10 minutes or so now. There is huge drama outside his residence. There are teams of the Rapid Action Force, there are teams of the Delhi Police, teams of the CRPF who have all been deployed. You can see some of them taking away, the Delhi Police teams taking away some of the protesters who had gathered outside Kejriwal's residence, who were indulging in sloganeering, making this into a protest. Of course, if you're in the political opposition to Kejriwal, then you would call this some kind of a tamasha, some kind of a drama. But clearly there is a lot of drama outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence. There is Section 144 that's been imposed. So this would be in violation of Section 144. But that, you could also argue, is to try and avoid any kind of untoward situation in the event that the Chief Minister is getting arrested. So Ananya, there are unconfirmed reports doing the rounds. There are other media channels that are running this. We are not until we get confirmation, definitive confirmation from one of our reporters on the ground that Mr. Kejriwal has been arrested. So far, there is no definitive confirmation of that. But what we did hear from ED sources, Ananya, and walk our viewers through this, is that Mr. Kejriwal was being evasive, non-cooperative in the investigation. Is this classic legal? All right, let's listen to Atishi, who's just speaking outside the Chief Minister's house.
अरेस्ट कर लिया है। ये बिल्कुल साफ था, जितनी भारी संख्या में पुलिस आई थी, जितनी भारी संख्या में पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस यहाँ पे स्टेशन थे, कि आज ईडी अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को अरेस्ट करने के लिए आ रही है। अरविंद केजरीवाल का अरेस्ट भारतीय जनता पार्टी की और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की एक राजनीतिक साजिश है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को अगर किसी एक नेता,
The Chief Minister has been arrested. This is a huge developing story. This is a big breaking story, ladies and gentlemen. A sitting Chief Minister, the sitting Chief Minister of Delhi, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, has been arrested in the Liquor Gate probe. Remember, he had approached the Delhi High Court asking for protection earlier today. That was denied by a division bench, and basis that, the ED has been questioning him since a little past 7 o'clock this evening. After 2 hours plus of questioning, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, has been arrested. Now, he will be taken away from his residence. He will be taken to the ED office. Of course, they can keep him there for about 24 hours, after which he will have to be produced before a magistrate, where the ED will ask for further custody. But for now, Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, has been arrested in the liquor gate scandal. Many other political netas have also been arrested in this case. The latest, of course, was K. Kavita, the BRS chief. Before that, Manish Sisodia, Sanjay Singh. And now today, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. Arunima has more details. Arunima.
It was all building up to this. When the Enforcement Directorate probe team said that their Chief Minister was being evasive in his answer, that was like the last indication of where this is heading. And now, what we are hearing from sources, though I must qualify by saying that Enforcement Directorate officially is still sightless, but what we are hearing from sources on ground is that the arrest memo has been served. So the process of taking the Chief Minister into custody has begun. What happens here on is that, there will be formalities, the paperwork will be completed, the arrest memo will be signed, a copy of which will be given to him. There will be 2 witnesses as well. And then the process of bringing Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal to the ED headquarters will begin. He'll be brought to the ED headquarters. ED team will have about 24 hours to present him in a court to seek custody. But given the kind of chaos that we are seeing outside the Chief Minister's residence, this will be easier said than done. Now the real challenge begins, because if he's brought out from the main door, there could be complete breakdown, and that's why CRPF, RAF and Delhi Police has been deployed. At the ED headquarters also, there's heavy bandobast that has been put up. There are barricades that have been put up, police deployment also. So ED was preparing for this. After 9 summons, I think they just thought that this was the best way to seek cooperation. Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, is now in ED's custody.
What is the charge against the Delhi Chief Minister, or what grounds has he been arrested?
See, he was given a notice under Section 50 of PMLA, and that is the section under which the investigating officer took a call that he cannot be questioned as a witness. He has to be questioned as an accused in this particular case. The charge against him is of criminal conspiracy, of robbing the exchequer of at least 100 crores, and then using the proceeds of the crime, laundering the proceeds of the crime in a way so that the Aadmi Party's election campaign in Goa and other places were really aided. So that's the broad charge. But when the remand application is produced, I will not be surprised if you also see details about how there was destruction of evidence, details about how Arvind Kejriwal was actively part of the conspiracy, and yet in the cabinet meeting that happened where this liquor policy was approved of, he chose to put the onus completely on Manish Sisodia, who was then the excise minister. So all these charges are likely to follow. The reason ED wants him in custody is to look for more evidence. There are digital devices which have been seized. Extraction of information from those digital devices will also be carried out by the Enforcement Directorate before they produce their charge sheet.
All right, let me also go across to my colleagues Ananya and Anshul, both of whom are joining us from outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence. So we now have confirmation from Arunima, we have confirmation from our investigations editor Manoj Gupta that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, has been arrested in the 100 crore liquor gate scam. Ananya, what are you seeing around you? And again, walk our viewers through what is the case that the ED has built against Mr. Kejriwal, because up until recently, he was not even mentioned as an accused in the various charge sheets that have been filed in this case so far.
Well, definitely, he though has not been made an accused in this particular case so far, but he had been, asked to come for questioning for last 9 summons. He has skipped all of them, created a ground for, in fact, non-cooperation, which is a clear ground under Section 19 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which is the power to arrest of the Enforcement Directorate. You can see visuals right behind me. These are from the Chief Minister's residence. But what is very, very clear, the allegations, Zaka, against Arvind Kejriwal, number one, being that he had met Miss K. Kavita and in fact had demanded her of 100 crore of this 100 crore, 50 crore were being arranged by YSRCP MP Manguta Reddy. She had asked him to do so, and the other half was being arranged by in fact her own team. Not only that, he was a part of those meetings that had taken place while the particular policy, the flouty policy, was actually being drafted. His residence was the place where these meetings had taken place. These are statements of none other than C. Arvind, who is the former secretary of the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. In fact, a note was also handed over to him for printing. This was the draft policy which was also available with the South Lobby, which had paid kickbacks in order to receive a favorable liquor policy in the national capital. Another big charge against Arvind Kejriwal is that he had welcomed Mr. Manguta Reddy's son, Raghav Manguta's entry into the Delhi liquor business and his company in the Delhi liquor business. Not only that, Vijay Nair is what he had so told Mr. Samir Mahindru on a FaceTime call. These are the allegations against him. Various people have given out statements against, in fact, the Delhi Chief Minister. He had been asked to by the Enforcement Directorate since the last year to come and appear before it, but very clearly and categorically denying all those 9 summons. He had been creating a ground for, in fact, non-cooperation. And as you know, Zaka, we were discussing earlier as well, from the very beginning, each summons skipped in a case under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act is like digging up your own grave, taking the fate to your own hands. And finally, you can see Arvind Kejriwal being arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in this case.
We have a whole bunch of guests from BJP, Aam Aadmi Party, other opposition parties, lawyers, etc., who are joining us in just a moment. But I also want to quickly go across to Anshul, who is joining us from outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence. What is the political posturing and the political sloganeering that you're seeing outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence? Given this kind of an environment outside, how easy or difficult would it be for the ED officials and the other security personnel, Delhi police and other security personnel who are present there, to take him from his residence to the ED office, presumably?
Well, it's going to be a very uphill task for the Delhi police to actually manage the law and order situation. You can see in the visuals behind me, these are all the protesters that are still gathering over here. A few of them have gone to the other gate because they suspect that the chief minister could be taken out from the other end of the road, and hence they are making sure that from wherever he could be taken out, they could actually try and stop them from taking him to the Enforcement Directorate office. On the other hand, if I could show you the traffic situation as well, this would give the viewers an exact sense as to how difficult is it going to be for the Delhi police and the Enforcement Directorate and the CRPF who has been deployed on the ground to take the Delhi Chief Minister to the Enforcement Directorate. There is a massive traffic snarl that has already happened out here, and the traffic is absolutely at a standstill at this point in time. On the other hand, the sources within the Enforcement Directorate are telling us that Arvind Kejriwal was constantly being evasive of the questions that were being asked to him, and the Enforcement Directorate investigating officer is not satisfied with the manner in which the Delhi Chief Minister is answering, and hence he has decided that a custodial interrogation could be the best way to make sure that Arvind Kejriwal answers the questions in this entire matter. So yes, it remains to be seen when will the Delhi Chief Minister be taken out, but he has been arrested. The Delhi police is trying to clear the roads, trying to make a green corridor so that the Chief Minister could be taken to the Enforcement Directorate office with utmost safety. But yes, it is going to be a very, very long haul and an uphill task for the
we'll
Delhi
come
Chief
back
Minister.
To our reporters, to Anshul, Ananya, Arunima, as soon as we see the first pictures of Mr. Kejriwal being brought out. Let me open this up to our guests who are joining us. This is a breaking, developing story, a huge one which has political ramifications and legal ramifications as well. Abab Singh Grewal is spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, RP Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, Sanjeev Srivastava, senior journalist joining us, Sumit Chandar is a lawyer and constitutional expert, Ashutosh Srivastava, also lawyer, Piyush Joshi, political analyst, also joining us. Let me start with you, Mr. Grewal, if you're there. The Delhi Chief Minister has been arrested. The ED says he avoided summons, he skipped the summons as many as 9 times, including the latest one today. He went to the Delhi High Court, which refused to give him any kind of interim protection, and therefore the ED had no choice but to arrest him. If he had nothing to hide, Mr. Kejriwal should have shown up to their office in any of these summons and answered their questions.
Mr. Jacob, thank you. I just request 3 minutes, just 3 minutes. You've got a galaxy of guests, just three uninterrupted minutes. First of all, we have a saying in Punjabi, Ji Aayaan, you are welcome. You arrest us, you are welcome. 212 raids, nothing found, you are welcome. ED catches somebody's 490 crore property seizes. Mr. Santiago Martin, by the way, his name was, and 1600 crores, like he gives in bonds, not a big deal. Mega construction, not a big deal. And PMLA Act, which I'm sure your reporters were so good and on about, which they said, and they listed the whole case. This man said this man said this person said this. They haven't found a repeat. And just like the electoral bonds were declared unconstitutional after 5 years, but the BJP got 12,930 crores during that time. Well, big shakes. This will be knocked off in September. It's coming up for hearing in September, but they want that they through the elections that time. Now, I'll give you a fresh perspective. I'm talking from Punjab. Punjab is the state which gave 4 MPs to Aam Aadmi Party when Mr. Kejriwal started. We are proud. We are proud of the fact that Mr. Bhagwant Mann goes all over the country supporting secularism, federalism, and the rule of the law and the rule of the institutions. With Mr. Kejriwal, we have earned it. I have fought for this right for the past 12 years, and we are proud of this. Thirdly, you are more than welcome to arrest any of our leaders. You say corruption. 338 crores was the last time the Supreme Court was shown a piece of paper saying it, 338 is written. You said 100 crores. Well, you might need to make up for the discrepancy. What is the liquor gate? Now that liquor gate, the same liquor policy in Punjab has brought in 4,000 crores, an average more for the state exchequer. Well, that might be very wrong. That policy was never implemented. Mr. Kejriwal never signed up for anything. He does not have any department. And thank you very much for giving a detailed description of everything. And the BJP, I have another Punjabi saying, Atte Khuda la vair hunda hai, tusi Khuda kise paya. RP Singh ji samajh aunda hai. Bhagwan Ram nu tusi bachcha samajhde ho. Tusi eh kita ke Modi ji sara kuch kar de, and you have ruined the institutions and you are trying to. But
let me bring in your fellow Punjabi on the other side. Mr. RP Singh is also joining us because Mr. Singh, Mr. RP Singh, first thing in the morning, Congress party says their accounts have been frozen, democracy has been frozen. Last thing in the night, Mr. Kejriwal, sitting chief minister, has been arrested. I can't recall too many times when sitting chief ministers have been arrested in India. So please respond to the charge by the AAP, by the Congress, other opposition parties, that Mr. Modi's government is stifling democracy and killing the opposition.
Well, I'll come to that after my first point. That is that Kejriwal last 6 months have been avoiding and ducking and have been skipping the ED's summon. It started way back in November. It is now March. And every time he has a new ground or new excuse or some pretext like Diwali or some pretext like Vipassana or elections or something. Now it is the parliament election. It was earlier the assembly elections. So he has been under some pretext. But the real thing came, and he was exposed yesterday when he went to the court and said that he should be not allowed to be arrested. That was the real reason. He was trying to avoid all this so that he should not be arrested. And that's what Abhishek Manu Singh said in the court also. And that's why they are trying to move to Supreme Court for the same. But fact is that yes, scam has happened. I'll give you one example, and that will prove my point. There's this guy named Rajinder Singh, a Gujarati guy who contested election on behalf of Kejriwal in Gujarat. He was caught red-handed with a huge trunk of money. When he was caught, he was asked, whose money is this? He said, oh, this is not my money. This money has come from Delhi for the election. And this is a man, my driver, is a conduit for sending, he used the word angry, is a conduit for sending money from Delhi to here. So all this liquor scam money was used to contest and win elections. And so was in Punjab also. The money which they won elections in Punjab was a liquor scam money. So this is a big scam which has happened, and then they have to answer the question. Their fellow minister like Mr. Satinder Jain has applied for bail for almost 22 times, Mr. Manish Sisodia for 15 times, and Mr. Sanjay Singh for 7 times. Every time the bail has been rejected. Had there any ground, they could have got the bail. And one more thing, sir.
Okay.
They arrested, give me a second, another 5 seconds. They arrested 5 of the Congress former ministers in Punjab by the Vigilance Department under corruption charges. And that was okay. That was all okay because they arrested them. So, जब आप करें तो सब ठीक है. And then ED does it, then it's all questionable.
Okay, so let me bring in Sanjeev Srivastava, Sumit Chandar, Ashutosh Srivastava, Piyush Joshi as well. Mr. Sanjeev Srivastava, the point is, you've had in the space of the last month or so, 2 sitting chief ministers, first Hemant Soren in Jharkhand, and now you have Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi chief minister, being arrested, both in alleged corruption cases. There doesn't seem to be a political fallout, at least in any consequential way up until now, because in public perception, Mr. Modi is waging a war against corruption. In public perception, it's Modi's fight against the allegedly corrupt India alliance.
Very good evening, Zaka. So, in a way, you are right. But like you said in your intro, that this is one of those remarkable days when in the morning you had a presser by Rahul Gandhi saying the Congress accounts being frozen is like democracy being frozen, and before the night is out, in fact, it's late evening only, the Delhi Chief Minister is arrested. So, for an election, which according to every media outlet, observers, is already a done and dusted deal, the only controversy or debate is as to whether the BJP will cross last time's margin and with how much, what kind of numbers, will it be 350, 370, 400. In that kind of an election where the outcome is seen as an open and shut case, there is just no dearth of drama, and which is fascinating. That why is all this happening at this time? In the specific case of Mr. Kejriwal, it's uh, it's very difficult really to defend him in this, because from what we know and we gather, here was a case of a chief minister who never took on a portfolio. He never signed a file. So he was always very cautious and being too clever by half, if you may allow me to say so. Number two, this Kavita's arrest was the last nail in the proverbial coffin. That when you have somebody as high profile who's going to sing against Mr. Kejriwal, that was more or less a done deal. Avoiding summons, everything. So it's very difficult to defend him. The only thing is the timing. And now the BJP will say, what can we do? Law takes its own course. They don't see what the time is, day, night, elections. But the whole manner in which the BJP is going across the country. The only thing I always say is, yes, Arvind Kejriwal may be corrupt. It's likely there is something wrong with this liquor deal. We'll find out. The courts will have a say. But is all corruption only in opposition? Are they some kind of, what kind of a Teflon, what kind of a whitewash, what kind of holy people are running this government? There's not one single case which ever one of these agencies, all their intellect, might, heft, understanding of the law and execution of the law is all directed towards people who are politically opposed to the BJP.
Okay. Let me ask Sumit Chandar. Sumit Chandar is a lawyer and constitutional expert. Well, we don't know the provisions of the PMLA under which Mr. Kejriwal has been arrested. Presumably, we'll get to know that once he's produced in court. But apparently, under Section 50, and I believe there's a Delhi High Court ruling recently regarding Section 50, under which many other opposition political figures have been arrested, that mere non-evasiveness to questions or non-cooperation in the probe cannot be a grounds for arrest. That was one of the Delhi High Court judgments. Can you take our viewers through under what provisions could Mr. Kejriwal potentially be arrested? Because now we know that he has been formally arrested. The arrest memo has been served on him. The papers are being readied now, and once the papers are readied and signed, he will be brought out and taken to the ED office for questioning. But this whole amended PMLA, and particularly Section 50, has been the subject of intense legal scrutiny. Mr. Sumit Chandar.
Yes, see, Zaka, there's before the arrest, the power of arrest under the PMLA is given under Section 19. And of course, the arrest has been made under Section 19, provided that certain actions have been taken place which have resulted in this arrest. Now, if I look at Section 45 of the PMLA Act, if you read that carefully, which of course gives you the regards the offences under the PMLA Act, it says that even under PMLA Act there are certain reasons why the bail may be granted or why a relief from the arrest may be granted. In that, three basic things have been given. One is that the public prosecutor has been given an opportunity to oppose the application. Fair enough, nothing wrong about it. Second is that there is a reasonable ground for believing that he is not guilty of such an offense. Now, that is the kind of a provision which is going to be actually hyped upon. Facts will be produced by the investigating authority, who are going to mainly focus on the grounds which will make the court believe that he is actually guilty of certain offense, so that the arrest can be taken to a logical conclusion. And the third is that he is not likely to commit any offense while on bail. So another thing which the ED is going to focus on, whether as the chief minister, as a sitting chief minister, he definitely has power, but is he or is he not likely to commit any offense while on bail? Now, these are the things which has to be produced, and these things have to be produced, and Mr. Kejriwal has to be produced before the magistrate or the concerned court within 24 hours of arrest. Now, these things will be taken up. Of course, Supreme Court has already now seized of the matter. High Court, this matter was already pending before the High Court. High Court has issued notice. So the matter is already sub judice before the High Court.
Okay.
Now, a protection relief has been sought from the Supreme Court, which might be taken up. There have been earlier instances also where Supreme Court had taken up late night issues of such.
Yeah. But I just want to add, before I bring in Ashutosh Srivastava and Piyush Joshi, generally in matters concerning PMLA, and there have been other political leaders, opposition politicians who have been arrested under PMLA, from Satyendra Jain to Manish Sisodia, Hemant Soren. Generally in PMLA cases, the courts have been reluctant to intervene in such matters, certainly not any kind of midnight hearing. We've not seen that in any of these cases so far. But generally, they have been reluctant to intervene in it because the provisions of the law as they exist are that the investigating authority, the prosecuting authority, has powers to arrest and to take coercive action in case of non-cooperation by an accused person. But Ashutosh Srivastava, one of the contentions that was made after the arrest of Ms. K. Kavita earlier over the weekend was that once her arrest happened, it was only a matter of time before Arvind Kejriwal was also arrested, because it is after Kavita's arrest, and I have the note here which was shared after Kavita's arrest. I'm just going to read from that before I come to you, Mr. Srivastava. According to a statement that was put out by the ED after Kavita's arrest, Kavita, along with others, quote, conspired with the top leaders of AAP, including Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia, for getting favors in the Delhi excise policy formulation and implementation. This was the first time that Mr. Kejriwal's name was taken in an official document put by the Enforcement Directorate. So, do you think after the weekend arrest of Ms. Kavita, this was just a matter of time? Mr. Kejriwal's arrest was going to be imminent?
See, it depends on the co-accused statement and also the statements given by different witnesses. And if the investigating agency, that is ED in this case, is satisfied that there are sufficient prima facie evidences against Mr. Kejriwal based on the statement of Ms. Kavita or maybe other accused or the witnesses, then in that case, as we know that under Section 50, they can issue summons to the accused to come and, give the statement and cooperate in the investigation. And when the person or the accused or the witness doesn't come, they have the powers under Section 19 of PMLA to arrest that person if they feel that the custodial interrogation of that person or accused or witness is important and crucial so far as that investigation they are conducting is concerned. And see, as we know that in all these matters, it all happens under the supervision of the special court. So it is not that only ED, of course, has the powers given under PMLA, which was also challenged before the Supreme Court earlier. But the Supreme Court also had confirmed that considering the Prevention of Money Laundering Act and its provisions, and considering the powers being conferred upon to the Enforcement Directorate, there is nothing wrong. They have all these powers to do. And here in this case, if we see that obviously 9 summons were served, but Mr. Kejriwal had either of the options. That was either to go and cooperate in the investigation and help the investigation agency, whatever they needed, any documentation or his statements or a clarity on any issue, or else he had the option to challenge that summons before the appropriate court. But now we see that after 9 summons, when he approached Delhi High Court for quashing or maybe to have the interim relief for no coercive action, Delhi High Court was not convinced and it rejected interim application. And accordingly
Piyush Joshi is also joining us. He's a political
hearing.
analyst. The fact that Arvind Kejriwal 10 or 12 years ago in 2012, 2013 burst into the national consciousness as a corruption crusader, anti-corruption crusader. He was one of the founder members of India Against Corruption. For a person like that, today, after 12 years, he's been arrested in the Liquor Gate Gothala. What a fall this has been, Mr. Joshi. What a fall in public perception this has been for Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who started off with India against corruption. Today, he is being accused as one of the prime beneficiaries of this mega kickback scheme disguised as the liquor gate.
Well, first and foremost, let us go back in history to the days of demonetization. It was a big policy failure on behalf of the central government. If you look at the accountancy, if you look at the audits of those, no audit was done as to how much loss to the exchequer that demonetization did. As the ex-Prime Minister rightly said, it was a legalized plunder. So today what has happened in way of arresting a duly elected Chief Minister is a legalized atrocity. So the Enforcement Directorate is leaving no stone unturned to act as an executive arm of the Bharatiya Janata Party. We have seen that it is already
but
acting
Mr.
as
Joshi,
an extortion agency.
if Arvind Kejriwal was squeaky clean, and that is his public persona, that's his public image, he should have shown up for the N number of summons, the 9 summons that the ED issued him.
I totally agree with you, because Mr. Kejriwal, we are at the fag end of the Lok Sabha election. Mr. Kejriwal was probably, to my mind, was posturing politically by skipping those summons, and was kind of daring the Enforcement Directorate to do what he wanted them to do in any case. So probably this arrest was maybe unavoidable, because if you avoid 9 summons and the High Court fails to grant you the relief, then definitely Enforcement Directorate is well within its rights to arrest. The
point is this arrest could have been if the attempt was that he will try and gain political mileage by pushing it closer and closer to the Lok Sabha election, then you cannot blame the Enforcement Directorate for the timing, because Mr. Kejriwal chose the timing. Had he appeared in November when the first summons was issued, then you couldn't have made this political timing argument.
Look, Mr. Kejriwal has been very smart at it. He has never said that he is not going to appear. He has always said that he is going to appear via video conferencing. So nobody is blaming ED for the timing. Nobody is blaming ED for arresting Mr. Kejriwal. Everybody is blaming for the partisan way. It is very clear to each and every citizen of India when it comes to Himanta Biswa Sarma, how many summons have been issued in the last 9 years. Okay, it's been 9 years. How many summons have been issued? And here in a 5-month period, you issue 9 summons to Arvind Kejriwal, you arrest Hemanta Soren, you arrest Arvind Kejriwal, you freeze the accounts of the largest opposition party, and you arrest the convener of the fastest growing opposition party.
Okay.
So the signals are very clear.
So RP Singh, please respond. Like I said, from Congress saying their accounts have been frozen in the morning to today, Delhi Chief Minister in the night, post 9 o'clock being arrested in the liquor gate scandal. Why is it that not one BJP leader of any repute has been raided or arrested or searches or seizures, but all the corruption seems to be with the opposition?
Not even summoned.
RP Singh, yeah.
Laka, thank you. On your debate today, the Aadmi Party supporter and sympathizer has accepted. Yes, Mr. Kejriwal was doing or skipping all these summons for political posturing. So if you try to play politics with the constitution or with the law agencies, with the agencies, then you have to face the tune of the law. I mean, you can skip summons, or you can't show thumb to the ED for 9 times, and then that's what Mr. Kejriwal did for his political objectives. But again, as far the income tax department goes, I mean, income tax department, they had gone to all the appellate courts and everywhere they could have gone. They have tried, and then their appeal has been rejected. I mean, they are running a political party. They are not running a dynastic company. I mean, everything is as per law. And if I don't pay tax, obviously the income tax will seize my assets. And same has happened with the Congress party. But who's saying that Congress party don't have money? That's 350 crore rupees. I mean, we don't know how many such cash banks Congress party has countrywide.
But RP Saab, the larger point opposition is making against your government is you're killing the political opposition in this country by unleashing ED, IT, CBI, etc. on them.
I'll answer that. One of my friends spoke about Himanta Biswa Sarma. Mr. Joshi, I'll give you a challenge. Please hire best of the lawyer in the country. I'll pay the fee from my side. I'm assuring this on the national channel. Then I'll pay the fee from my side. You win the case. My fees is on my check. But if you lose the case, you pay the double the fees to me, because there is no case. When you can keep reiterating what you want to.
So,
And then this number case,
Mr. Singh, you were saying Amit Shah, Amit Shah ji was lying.
Did I interfere? Mr. Joshi, please. I mean, don't heckle like Aam Aadmi Party.
I'm not heckling, Baba. Amit Shah ji was lying, you mean to say?
No, one sec. No, let him finish. Let RP Singh finish, yeah.
Mr. Joshi, accept my challenge. I'm telling you, please, I'm prepared to pay as much money you spend. Hire Abhishek Manu Singhvi, hire one of the best guys who have hired from Mr. Kejriwal and move the court. We'll pay the fee for that. But with that, you have to pay the check double the amount if you lose the
so let Mr. Joshi respond. I'll go to Abab Singh Grewal after that. I need to take a break right after that. Yeah, Mr. Joshi, quick response, please.
Singh sir, you are misplacing the challenge. You're challenging me. You should challenge Amit Shah ji, who blamed Himanta Biswa Sarma of the Louis Berger scam. It was not me. It was the advertisement and it was the speeches of the Honorable Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah. He blamed Himanta Biswa Sarma. Ajit Dada Pawar was blamed by Prime Minister Modi. He said that he is responsible for 11,000 crore rupees scam. So challenge them. Challenge them.
Mr. Grewal, today the focus is on Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and his alleged role in this Liquorgate scam. I keep going back to this. For a man who started in public life and in national attention with the India Against Corruption, has this not been a fall from grace, a fall from a pedestal and a fall from an image of being this anti-corruption crusader to today being allegedly the beneficiary of a 100 crore kickback scam? Mr. Grewal.
Not at all. Punjab is the first state which embraced Mr. Kejriwal's ideology, and Punjab is the first state which has now brought a government with Mr. Kejriwal's ideology, and we are proud of the fact that Mr. Maan heads that state because he has brought that government into power. Number one, nobody has fallen off any pedestal. It was 338 crores, it was this, it was that. The beauty of the fact is that the 7 suicidal bomber aunties behind your reporter will make sure that the way is clear. This is what I'm seeing today. That the fact of the matter is that you are ready to put everybody under the scanner without a doubt. And Mr. RP Singh, you don't talk about challenges. You ran from a challenge in Shahkot, sir. Jalandhar by-election, remember? We were there for a debate and you ran from that debate. I challenge you to debate me anytime. Sadji chete hai gurdwara jo parking cho bhaje si.
मेरा फिर तुम झूठ बोल रहे हो और मेरा नाम गल कर रहे हो तुम वो कृपा करके कोई वीडियो दिखा दो जिथों मैं किसी डिबेट तो रखा मैं पंजाब कोई डिबेट करन गया नहीं सिलेक्शन है कृपा करके झूठ बोलना बंद करो और ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਝੂਠ ਦਾ ਪਟਾਰਾ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਚਲਾਇਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਦੇ ਘੁਟਾਲੇ ਦੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਜਿੱਤਿਆ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਆਏਗਾ
I'm going to take a break, please. Gentlemen, I'm going to take a break, but I want to thank our guests. I'll go to our reporters right after the break, but try and get a status check of what's happening there. Let's also try and see if we can get some live pictures. What you're seeing right now is intense drama outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence. Aam Aadmi Party protesters, supporters who were sitting on a sit-in dharna outside the Chief Minister's residence are being taken one by one into buses, and of course they'll be detained because Section 144 has been imposed outside the Chief Minister's residence. The Delhi Chief Minister, ladies and gentlemen, has been formally now arrested by the Enforcement Directorate for his alleged role in the 100 crore Liquorgate